Middlesex's Ollie Rayner produced an extraordinary performance as he easily surpassed his career best with the bat to prevent Nottinghamshire from enforcing the follow-on on the third day of the LV County Championship match at Trent Bridge. Rayner was in at the start of the day as a night watchman, with his side in some difficulty on 51 for 3 in response to the home side's 423, and he lost his more experienced partner Joe Denley in the day's third over as the former Kent man edged Andre Adams to Alex Hales on 35. Denley had appeared to be the biggest threat, and so Notts now would have felt very confident of preventing Middlesex from reaching 274 to avoid the follow-on. The night watchman, a very decent batsman who scored 100 on his Sussex debut against the Sri Lankans 6 years ago, had other ideas. Bearing in mind he was facing the likes of Adams, Stuart Broad and Graham Swan, it was some effort to reach a 50. Rayner got there off 93 balls, an innings thus far containing 9 fours. He had a life of sorts 15 minutes before lunch. Hales would have done extremely well to cling on, although it was a moment which was become increasingly important as the day went on. Nottinghamshire had to make do with only the one wicket in the morning session. David Malan had come in with his side well behind on 63 for 4, but in partnership with Rayner, he was clawing his side back into this contest. Malan has the capacity to play some lovely shots, and on what was still a good surface to bat on, he was doing just that here. Rayner, meanwhile, will certainly have enjoyed this. With perfect timing, he dispatched Broad over the ropes for a 6. The fifth wicket partnership had made 119 runs when it was ended by Harry Gurney, who produced a quick Yorker to have Malan leg before for 46. But Rayner went on and closed in on becoming a member of a fairly exclusive club of scoring 100 as a night watchman. And what made it even more gratifying for him was this was his first in the Championship and his first since that one on his debut. It was a sensational innings from the 26-year-old who needed 182 balls to get to 3 figures. He struck 15 fours and a 6. The follow-on target was still 49 runs away when Notts struck for the 6th time, Neil Dexter driving Swan to Adams to go for 17. And 11 runs later, Middlesex was 7 down as John Simpson was cleaned up by Gurney on 1. So as the final session of the day began, the follow-on was still on, but Middlesex had got to within 3 runs of their target by the time that Broad picked up his first wicket of the match by bowling Gareth Berg after he shouldered arms. Middlesex were hugely indebted to Rayner for making sure that they didn't have to bat again next. He was the man to ensure that that didn't happen, as his side reached a target of 274. The resilient Rayner was left unbeaten on a magnificent 143, as Chris Rogers declared shortly after Tim Murtagh was bowled by Swan. Middlesex ended their innings on 300 for 9. That gave Nottinghamshire 10 more overs to advance their first innings lead of 123 to try to set up a target for Middlesex to chase on the last day, but Rayner hadn't finished just yet. Brought into the attack very early, he found a lot of turn to bowl Hales through the gate. Stephen Finn then had Neil Edwards held at slip by Andrew Strauss, and Nottinghamshire's own night watchman couldn't match Rayner's heroics as Swan was well held off Rayner by Denley for a duck. It was not the end of the day that Notts would have been anticipating. They now go into the final day on 22 for 3 to lead by 145, and the game, thanks almost exclusively to Rayner, is now wide open again. It should be an exciting last day.